Right, and here we are in Yorkshire because I'm up with Lee's Listers in the dark.
Hello.
And what's this mighty beast we have here?
So this is my 1929 Lister RH. So I believe this is the only surviving one. It's 10 horsepower, and the R stands for the model, and the H stands for Hopper Gold. Give you an idea of size, this engine is 5 foot 2 inches, roughly a 3.9 litre and 10 horsepower.
Excellent. If I'm any good at editing, there'll be a clip of it running about now. If not, I apologise. And hiding in the darkness, we have the rest of...
Yeah, we've quite a few now. So this one is, yeah, I do have lights, but there's something wrong with the electric. So this is a Lister 404, 4 horsepower. So this is 1910. This is number 537 off the production line. This engine is totally original, totally unmolested. There's never been back to the factory for any alterations. It's got the internal governor weight, the small cylinder head, the ring top, cast exhaust, early magneto, early trolley. It's the oldest external fuel tank Lister there is. It's correct in every possible way.
Long-term followers of the channel may be familiar with this one.
So this is my 1921 Lister TM. So this is one of my restorations I did 2024 to 2025. This was a complete wreck when I bought this engine. Complete seized solid. I had the trolley but no woodwork. I had no cooling system either, so I had to fabricate all that as to original spec. The engine, I believe, is one of the only surviving ones. It has the twin cylinder Style 2 vaporizer. I have quite a collection of Style 2 vaporizers, which you'll see, and this being one of them. It's a very, very rare engine.
Oh, yeah.
So this one is another very rare engine. So this is a 1920, bloody hell, 8 or 9, 28, I think, yeah, 28. Lister X type. So this is the youngest Lister X type on record. What I'm going to do, so it's on a cast iron base with original dynamo, or a Lister dynamo I should say. I'm going to make it into a generating set. This engine was originally supplied with a single flywheel to Broom and Wade as a batch of 50 that went to Germany as direct coupled compressor sets. The compressor and everything, it was like in a trailer, is completely gone. This is all that's left, it is the engine. The cast iron base is from my other X type, which is somewhere else, and the dynamo is from another engine, but it is an original Lister one and nearly the same sort of size. The X type is thought to be an experimental engine. They made roughly 800. It was the first attempt at a twin cylinder in one sort of block rather than the other, which is 2 separate blocks. This is all one. There's only 10 that's surviving on the record, and I have a list of the records of all the ones that's surviving, this being one of them.
Excellent. It's going to be a good future project for your channel as well. Getting various bits repaired, as you can see, bit of damage there, and most of the engine is pretty sea solid.
Yeah, everything's sea, so even that bolt with nothing on it's stuck. The only free part is this rocker. Everything else is stuck. That one's probably a little bit loose. But yeah, it's completely stuck solid. It was believed to have spent 27 years outside uncovered. My job I do every time I come to the shed is I have a little spray. I would spray it all with WD or paraffin or kerosene or diesel and just go over all the nuts and bolts. One thing that makes this X-Type unique compared to all the others, these 4 plates, so there's 2 on this side and 2 on the other, are completely smooth. So Lister, when they sold these to Broom and Wade, ground Lister off these and they left them bare, so also on the inspection plate is completely bare. and there's no Lister markings except the casting marks of the numbers, which shows it's an X type. This one being a proper X type, where my other is an XO, which means petrol. X is the size, and oil, O for oil or paraffin. This has an internal oil pump, where the other one has an external oiling system on the side. It's quite a lot different. Is that twin flywheels, spoke flywheels as well, where this one's single. This originally had a massive radiator on here, which I'm going to source one for. Not an original, but as one as I can get near. And I'm going to make this into a ginormous generating set. It's going to be a fairly lengthy project. There's, say, a rocker cover's missing, that's going to have to get cast. Carburetor's broken. There's an exhaust system to make. There's the dynamo to attach to the flywheel. There's the whole engine to unseize. Cooling system, trolley, you name it, it's going to need work on it. So, yeah, there we go. On to the rest of my collection. So, I own the full H2R range of Listers. This being the smallest, the H. So, this engine's 1916. It's an original flick magneto engine, mounted on an original trolley. Its blind head as all the H's was, and it also has its original silencer, which is very, very rare. The difference between an agricultural engine, as this is, and an industrial engine in H is the fact the agricultural ones are flick magneto and they have flat flywheel crowns, where the industrial have crown flywheels and chain driven magneto, and they did that from 1912 to 1924. Just because the engine has a flick magneto doesn't make it earlier. It just means it was used for an agricultural application, not an industrial application. And that's because the H is only 1.5 horsepower and so small with little flywheels, they struggled. And with a flick, depends how fast the flicker or striker goes round, alters the timing of the engine. And because they're so small and such a small capacity, if you alter the timing ever so slightly, you'll lower the horsepower. So they found if they put a chain-driven magneto on, they can guarantee the horsepower because it always ignites at the same time. So that's the main difference to the two H's. This one is the J-type. This is my 1917 Lister J. Again, flick magneto, blind cylinder head, mounted on original Lister trolley. This engine is nicknamed J the Bastard, and it's because when I restored this engine, it was just a bastard to get going, and it stuck, and it's still that to this day. I've tried everything. I've had it running. It run fine. I swapped the magneto, then the magneto failed on me, so I fall out with this engine every time I take it somewhere. But the engine, I bought it as just the engine. It was missing exhaust, missing the magneto, didn't have the tank, trolley, cooling box, water tank, it's just the engine. And over a couple of year period, I've pieced it all together. So I bought the tank off eBay, the water tank came from a friend, the box came from a friend, the trolley came from another collector, the exhaust came off eBay, and basically I patched together a really nice looking original engine where every feature of it is original, and I just had to bide my time and just buy the pieces. So this was one of the ones where I had the engine for a while and sat on it, and then when I got it, I went through it. It was seized when I bought it, and went through it nut and bolt restoration completely. But it was just a bit of a pig, and it still remains that to this day. But it's a nice thing. I'm loath to sell it. I want to sell it because I hate it, but at the same time, it is a lovely engine. So it's stopping for now. Going up in size is the K. So the J and the K are effectively the same engine. So the J, the K are both 2.5 horsepower. The difference is the J is petrol, the K is petrol-paraffin. The K, this one is 1918. This has the Style 2 vaporizer again, flick magneto, blind cylinder head, and original Lister trolley. This is an engine I absolutely love. It's so soft is this engine. It just runs with a real steady, smooth beat. Yeah, when I got it, it was completely seized solid. It needed a lot of work. The vaporizer was cracked. There's bearing problems, seized again, missing the tank. I had one of them on the shelf. I bought it without the trolley. Same again, the tank, the box, the pulley was missing. So yeah, I've done a lot of work to this. This engine was part of, I do know a bit of history, was part of a Tangy triple ram pumping set. At some point that's gone missing, so I'm lucky to have the engine. The K-type is a very, very rare engine, particularly with the Style 2 vaporizer, so I'm very lucky to own this engine. This is my 1917 Lister L. So this was the first engine I bought out of the H2R range, and I bought an L for Lee. That's why I bought this engine. It's a right basket case. So this engine had spent 60 years in a cotton mill. It was knackered in every aspect. The cylinder head was badly rotted from the inside on the liner. So this is a later. It's actually a M cylinder head. Because it's got this valve on it. This was also rotten on the original one. The carbs off the original engine, the flywheels, big end, crankcase, crank are off the original engine, the fuel tank's off something else, the exhaust is missing, so that's a new one. The magnetos, flick magneto again, blind cylinder head on original trolley. Yeah, I believe this engine had spent 60 years in a cotton mill. And when it basically comes to the end of its working life, they run it on gas. And they just got a gas pipe and shoved it through one of the holes in the carb. But yeah, this is basically how the engine rolled out the factory in 1917. This was the first one restored, so I finished restoring this in round about 2013, I think it was. It still starts and runs, and it's one of my go-to engines. I know I can just get this out and it'll run. Give it a wipe over. It's got a bit like mouldy with being sat in here in storage, but I know if I give it a good clean with a bit of WD, it'll come up nice. So. Next one, Lister M, 1921. Again, flick magneto, blind head, Style 2 vaporizer again, and original trolley. This engine was restored by a Scottish collector who sadly passed away, and his friend bought it. He had it for quite a while, but got to the point he couldn't manage it, so he sold me just the engine. And again, over a period, I collected parts. I had a lot of trolleys piled up waiting for engines. I remanufactured a cooling box to look original to suit the trolley. Water tank was one I'd stuffed away for when I basically wanted to start restoring them. But the engine run nice. I've not done anything to it mechanically, paint wise. It's just how I acquired it. It's a bit of a wrong colour green really, but it could do with probably re-restoring, but it's one of them, it's alright for the time being, so it'll get left. Yeah, nice thing this one.
Alright.
Next, so N for November. So this is when we get onto the big ones. So this engine's 7 horsepower, petrol. I have done a video on Know Your Listers, it's called, between the N and the R type, showing the main differences. But this engine, I had an N type, and the plan was to again restore it, put it on original trolley, screen cool it like this. But this engine was restored by a friend of mine, and he sold it, and I bought it from a collector dealer. And basically this is what I wanted to do with the one I had. So I sold the one I had and bought this, and it saved me like 6 months worth of work. So I cheated really with this one, but the only thing I've done is give it a really, really good clean, which has brought out the original paintwork. There's quite a lot left.
You see some of the green on there, governor there.
I've swapped the fuel tank, put an original fuel tank on instead of a really small fuel tank. fitted an original exhaust because that was missing, and just generally feel the small jobs. It had fresh oil pipe because that was leaking. Just, yeah, a few jobs really, but I haven't done anything to it. It's a real nice mechanical engine, runs really well, it's nice and quiet. It was badly frost damaged before the chap bought it to restore, so I know I've known this engine for quite a while. So that's 1918 Lister N type. So another one of the bigger ones. So this is a P 1918 P type. So this is 7 horsepower. So this was one of my first Style 2 vaporizer engines. So I've taken the mag off because there's problems with it. So it's flick magneto, Style 2 vaporizer, original trolley. This one I decorated in a steel trolley rather than a wooden one. Fancied a change. So Lister did make steel trolleys, not also metal ones. So I did this one. This was my first attempt at a steel trolley, and the next one was my second attempt, which turned out actually a lot better. I learned a lot from doing this trolley. But yeah, it's a nice engine. It needs a re-restore. It's been done a long time ago. It's quite rough really, but it does run nice. It's one of them 80s paint jobs, so it'll get done again at some point, but for now I'm happy with how it's turned out. I built the cooling system box. It's got a tank which obviously doesn't fit under here, there isn't a lot of room. When I mounted on this trolley, I was in 2 minds whether to strip the paint off then, but I started in my mind that I wanted to get a few engines restored, so I restored 5 engines in 6 months, I think it was. This being one of them. So I did the Q, the P, the M, put that on a trolley, and also the K type.
Alrighty, another big beast in this one.
So this is the 1920 Q type. So the Qs are very, very rare engines. So again, flick mag, Style 2 vaporizer, blind head, mounted on original trolley. So this engine I bought is a pallet full of pieces. I bought it off 5 photographs, top and bottom of it. And the only thing I knew was missing was the valve spring. Such as that one. That's off a P because it's slightly shorter, that one being a Q one. This engine was fully documented on YouTube. This is one I started my YouTube channel with. Yeah, it's a lovely thing. They're very rare Q types, you don't see many at all. This is a petrol-paraffin version of an R type. Again, there's probably only a handful of survivors. Yeah, very unusual engine. This engine was badly frosted at some point in its life. As you can see, it goes up and across, down, under here, and it's also riddled with it on the other side. There's a lot of work in preserving the original paintwork. There's a lot of it left. Yeah, it still needs a few small jobs doing. It's a bit of a pain to start. I don't know if I quite got the timing right or the fuel right or something, but when it runs really nice, but it's just a bit of a pain to start. The Style 2 vaporizer can be a little bit like that, but it's one of them things. So yeah.
Alrighty.
Right, last one before the torch runs out. We're in the darkest corner. 1922 Lister R type. Again, flick magneto, blind head, on original trolley. This was the second one I got in my collection. So I originally set out I was going to get an L, an R, the biggest, and the H, the smallest. And I've them all restored the same, on the same sort of trolleys, oaks, woodwork. But all went to pot because I ended up getting the H I've got. This engine was again a basket case, bought it out of a field, completely sea solid. A bird had climbed down the exhaust and made a nest on top of the piston. These are, yeah, a really nice thing. You don't see many R-types about in the rally field. They're not a particularly rare engine, but you just don't see many. Purely because of the size of them. The engines weigh about a ton. They're very heavy on fuel. They use about 1 gallon an hour. And they're just a big old lump, but I've rallied this quite a lot. A lot of people like to see it. It cleans up really nice. Again, it's been stuffed away in here. It wants taking out and a good clean over before it's rallied again, but it just runs. It runs really nice. So yeah, it's another one I really like.